beautiful people, my lovely peeps. Hope you're doing good today and practicing self-care and self-love. You are loved, you are worthy, you are beautiful. So you just got to repeat that. I am worthy, I am love, I am beautiful, I am at peace. Sometimes we need these positive affirmations to reprogram and retrain our subconscious into having these more positive beliefs that are going to benefit our lives and give us the lives we truly desire instead of a life that we're unconsciously creating. We can consciously create and manifest everything we want. And it's not just that easy, like, oh, I wish this will happen, boop. Obviously, like with anything, it takes practice. So it takes a long time to imprint these things. Think how long it takes, how much influence we have every day in the subconscious. And that comes from the people, from TV, from nature, from everything around us is giving us all messages all the time. So we can choose what we want to surround ourselves with, because we've got to be more conscious of what's coming in. And if we place ourselves in better environments, then we can tune into frequencies and vibrations that we want to be on, and want to be resonating on. So I wanted to talk a little bit about self-love today, and because I talk about it a lot, like, oh, love yourself, self-love, but I wanted to go a little deeper today onto the darker side of, or the shadow side of self-love, because I saw this post and it made me think of it. Someone posted a meme or a little comment saying self-love isn't just all about bubble baths and taking care of yourself in that way. It's also taking care, like delving into all that stuff within and in our brains, in our minds, in our emotions, and dealing with our own trauma. And we've got to, that's part of our self-love, is loving ourselves in that way and working through some of this stuff that maybe if we're in a relationship you trigger each other. Well, think of it like a relationship with yourself and things that might trigger yourself about yourself. How can you work on these things? So I wanted to talk a little bit about self-hate and negative self-talk. So I'm guilty of this as well. We're all guilty of this at times, but it can be overpowering when we're overthinking and we've got this incessant talk in our head telling us we're not good enough or can't do something, or holding us back, basically holding us back, or maybe prejudging people or situations that's also holding us back. Because when we put ourselves in these boxes, we're really shutting ourselves off from greater things and shutting ourselves off from the randomness of life and the wind, whoa, the beauty, the unknown. Yes, stepping into we don't know what could happen when we leave ourselves open to the possibilities. That honking then really distracted me from what I was about to say, sorry. Sorry about that. So what I was going to say was, when we're defining ourselves, when we define who we think we are, then that's shutting us off straight away. So we're identifying and labeling ourselves with things, then it's kind of putting ourselves in a box rather than just being open and being free to explore ourselves and really see who we are when we're not being told who we're meant to be. And a lot of this negative self-talk comes from people around us or influences around us, maybe on the TV or radio or music, of telling us how we're meant to be or who we're meant to be, how we're meant to live. I watched this interesting video. I'll try and remember to put a link in the bottom, and I think it was it about individuality or something like that, and it was saying about how the norm of like, oh, what one would do, so oh, one would never ... or like a good example would be like for women, oh, a lady wouldn't do that. But then it's like, well, who says that? Who made these rules and social structures that we've got to keep by? And it's really causing us anxiety, keeping us in this box when we could just break free and just live and express ourselves how we truly want to live and be, you know. And it's not always about doing that gives us our self-worth. That has nothing to do with our self-worth, you know. It's about being, how do we make ourselves feel? How do we feel about ourselves is our self-worth. And, you know, it can be that other people make us feel like it's lowering our self-worth or affect how we feel about ourselves. But the only way that we can channel through that or like feel through it is to look within ourselves and why it's making us feel that way, because we can only change how we feel about a situation or a person or something. We can't change how other people feel. So we've got to listen to ourselves and listen to when we're triggered and, you know, be with ourselves, be that partner that we would want if we were with the ideal partner, you know, be that within ourselves so we can truly love and nourish ourselves properly and really love ourselves, because that's something I'm learning, and it's been a long journey, and I guess it's a never-ending journey, of self-love and self-discovery, and it's a beautiful thing. And just as we learn something new, something else opens up, and we're learning all these different aspects of ourselves. And it can be, you gotta be brave and bold, people, you know, and you are worth loving yourself and challenging yourself, of going into those darker shadow parts of yourself, to truly love and nurture those parts and shed some light on those parts, because that's where all our hidden talents are, and all our unknown greatness and untapped potential is hidden in there behind our shame and our fears. And we could just let go of that. We can, well, it's not just easy, oh, let go of it, boo. Even when you have a breakthrough and you feel like, yeah, I'm getting this, like, it's not constant like that, you know. You keep going and practice. That's why it's practice with all things. Self-love and self-care takes practice, and we've got to practice every day. And if we don't manage to do it, then that's okay too. It's about learning to not be hating on ourselves, even if we're not living up to our own expectations of ourselves, and maybe lowering some of those expectations of ourselves, or seeing where they might be coming from. Because I know I can be really hard on myself, and I overanalyze things. And something I've been struggling with lately is like when I meet up with people, even people I really connect with and love a lot, and I know they love me, they say they love me, and we have real good friendship and everything's good. But then afterwards I would just overthink, and I think, why did I say that? Or did I talk too much about me? And I really wanted to know more about that thing, and I never asked them, and I forgot to say that, and did I cut them off there? And thinking of all these things. And whereas, so we have things that can reinforce these beliefs about ourselves. So, say in relationships I've been in where they tell me some of those things, who could maybe say that I never let them speak or cut them off, even though they may be doing that to me also, and it's just not a healthy dynamic of communication. And so then from those reinforcement times, then I'm thinking, oh, am I doing that all the time, even though I'm usually consciously trying to listen better and be a more active listener. But then sometimes I can just get carried away and I'm so excited, and sometimes we can like emotionally spill onto people, and I can do that sometimes, but I'm like that both ways, excited or sad. It can just be a bit full on. I'm quite all or nothing kind of gal. And but for anyone, sometimes if we emotionally undrop and unload and spill too much in one go onto others, that they can't help us because it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming for us, and we've bottled it in, and then we spill it all, and it can be a lot. And that's another part of loving ourselves, is being that person for ourselves to talk to as well. We do need to talk to others and share and have sounding boards and be heard and have those communications and bonds with other people and be social, definitely. But are we hearing ourselves? Are we listening to ourselves? Are we trusting ourselves? Are we loving and nurturing ourselves, And are we forgiving ourselves when we're not at our best or having a down day? Because it's okay not to be okay, And if we're really needing help beyond that, we can reach out to others for a helping hand, but it always still comes back to us, because people can help us along the way with little bits to help us along, but it's how we use that or channel that or alchemize it into things. Because I see some people and they have a lot of people trying to help them around them, and I've been there before. And when you're in like negative self-talk, and you could be like, oh, no one cares or no one's there, and reinforcing this by saying it lots, and then can sometimes miss the people that are there saying, hey, I'm here for you. But because we can get stuck in our own boxes and be training ourselves for the life that we don't want, and get stuck in that, we just need to like shake ourselves up, wake ourselves up, and consciously reaffirm the lives or affirm the lives that we do want. So yeah, I thought I could give you an example. So for me, with my overthinking and negative self-talk after I've met with friends, I thought I could do affirmations for that and just speak them, and it can reaffirm to me. So something like, I am loved and valued by the people around me. I am active listening. Or something like that, if you want to. So I want to practice that more, being an active listener. So you could say, I am an active listener, or I am actively listening to people when they're speaking to me, or anything that you want to practice more of or have more of in your life. You can reaffirm that, or I could say, cause sometimes I feel like my value dropped when I'm hating on myself like that, after I've met up with people, and it's like, you could say, I am valued, or I am worthy, I love myself and others love me too, or when I shine, I allow others to also shine. Because we can think logically as well about things, but you can tie yourselves in knots with thoughts. Thoughts are not truths, but our thoughts and our words and things can create truths. Our thoughts can create truths when we're practicing them over. So if we've got to think of these, think about what we're, or feel about what we're thinking about the most, what's coming up for us the most, and is it something we want in our life, or is it something that we don't want in our lives? And we can sit with that, find the root, find where these feelings are coming from. It might not come straight away, it might be a few days later, and you're like, hey, it's all a process and a journey. We've got to be patient with ourselves. That's another part of self-love, and that takes practice. When we're patient and kind and compassionate with ourselves, we can be that with others, because I found the times in my life when I've been most judgmental towards others has been when I'm most judgmental to myself, and I'm like being really hard on myself, so I'm expecting the same standards of others. But then as I've become more compassionate of myself and trying to shed more light and awareness on my own ego, and our collective ego and stuff, that's really helped me to love myself more and to love others more and to show compassion to myself and others. And when, instead of being like, oh, they're a dick or I'm a dick, you just think, oh, the funny old ego acting up again, isn't it? We can have more awareness and be more connected, because we have way more in common with each other than we have differences, and we're just all grown up in these societies that it's all based around competition and us against them, red against blue, team against team, nation against nation, whatever against whatever, black versus white, good versus evil. Everything's this polarity, this duality of opposites, and one's, it's either that way or that way. And it's like, if someone says one thing you disagree with, well, I hate them, totally not listen to anything they say now. Or it could go the other way and be like, one thing they say is amazing, so everything else they say is amazing now. Well, no, everything is all of these things combined, and life is messy and crazy, and so are people too. And we can't begin to try and understand anyone else until we really try to understand ourselves and love ourselves. So that's the greatest love of all, basically, and everything else can stem from there. So just needed to get that out. Been some little things I've been pondering on. But yeah, I hope that's helped or got you thinking or feeling about loving yourself and others a bit more, or giving yourself that bit of forgiveness, compassion, or whatever you need to feel good. Sometimes you might just need a big tub of vegan ice cream to eat or to yourself and not feel bad about it. Then that's self-love too, is not hating on yourself afterwards of things if you do slip up or whatever. And I watched anyway, I was just thinking though, but that is also a big part of caring and loving for ourselves, is eating nice, healthy, nutritious food. And you can make it fun and make it tasty, delicious, interesting. It doesn't have to be boring to be healthy. And that's another thing with the polarities, kind of, isn't it? If just like it's kind of switched around, like Orwellian, like healthy has been seen as bad and has been like ridiculed, sort of thing, or goodness and affection and love is all like, oh. snowflakes get a bad name, and then it's sort of good to be like bad and not care and be like aloof. It's cool. But then things are shifting back round now, you know, the divine feminine coming more into action and being more empowered, and the divine masculine too, because the feminine within the masculine is awakening to, you know, heal this toxic masculinity that we're all caught up in, this toxic patriarchal systems in place. But things are changing. Check out about the 8th for the 8th for the 8th, the Lionsgate portal that is opening for 2020, and some interesting stuff there on Sirius, the brightest star, seems to be closest to us at that time, and yeah, all these planets aligned creates this portal, so it's pretty cool. So you should look into that, and I think this is going to be about purging the toxic masculine and making way for new. So let's all, you know, we all have feminine and masculine within us, so we should all be cherishing and worshipping and loving both within us and nurturing each side to be the whole rounded people that we are, you know. And we might be a bit more of one, bit more of the other, but you know, we're always whole beautiful beings, you know, and we've got a bit of everything in us, so we're all alike. One love. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. I'm sending you so much love. Mwah. Peace. Love you. Bye. What a magnificent creature. Hey.